Welcome everybody to another episode of The Year That Was in Movies, the show where we talk about the movies of that year from 10 to number 1, as well as some honourable mentions. And as you can see in the corner on our little graphic, this time we're talking about the year 1999. Bit of a watermark here. It's one of those years that was certainly brought out some genre changing, some films that actually changed Hollywood forever come out in that year. So certainly a lot to talk about in 1999, Rick. And as you can see where we've got this information from, we've got our list here from 1 to 50. Actually 1 to 54 this time.
54?
And I'll explain why later. Okay. And we've gotten this from Box Office Mojo, and you can obviously have a look for yourself. Have a look at the top 50 films of 1999. Certainly, it's a great list to have a look at. So let's get started, Rick.
Definitely.
It's the number 10 film of 1999. And you can lead it off today, mate. What was the 10th film in 1999 film?
Blair Witch Project.
The Blair Witch Project made the top 10 films of 1999.
Top 10, which is quite surprising.
This film, wow. What can you say? The first ever probably found footage film.
Yeah.
And certainly it had that air of mystique at the time, if you can remember, Rick. People thought it was real.
Yeah, that's right. There was the big buzz and hype around it when it was...
Yeah, even in Hollywood circles alone, people were confused whether this was actually found footage or this was an actual film. Oh, yeah. The filmmakers obviously came out later and had to bring out the actors and say, no, they're still alive. Yeah. This was a film. This is just a movie. Really creepy, really fun. Certainly has some real iconic moments in it. Yeah. Certainly the end of the film scares the shit out of me to this day. Really, really big film. And it was a phenomenon. I mean, to get to number 10,
million.
140 million, mate. That's
pretty good.
Biggies.
And the budget wouldn't have been that big to make.
No, they would have made that on a shoestring.
Yeah.
Certainly was a big film for its time. So yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Let's look at number 9, Rick.
Number 9.
Number 9 is probably an attempt to recapture the magic of Pretty Woman. Yeah. By having Julia Roberts and Richard Gere
back together
in The Runaway Bride. Now, The Runaway Bride is a concept about a bride who keeps running away from the altar. Yeah. Certainly, look, I'm amazed it's number 9 because
I'm really surprised.
It's not a great film in any sense.
It's not my cup of tea, but
no. But again, it made that money because it was piggybacking off the two stars.
Yeah, that's right. 152 million.
Yeah. And you got to remember, Rick, today,
it's comedy.
A star doesn't get you into the cinema. There are a lot of big stars out there that they make films and people don't go and see them. But back then, if a movie star was popular, everyone went and saw their films. And certainly that's what's a piggyback off of that. I don't have a lot to say about the film. I saw it once. I would never watch it again.
Nah.
But if you're into that type of thing, you may love this film.
Go for it.
So go for it. What's number 8 on the list, Rick?
The Mummy.
The Mummy.
I remember this was when it came out.
The good Mummy movie. Not the piece of crap by Tom Cruise.
We won't even get into that. We won't get into that.
No,
Brendan Fraser. Yeah, the Mummy. I like this movie. I actually enjoy it.
It's a great action adventure. It's like taking the old Universal monsters and making it Indiana Jones style. Yeah. So really fun. Really fun film. I love it.
The special effects are for what it was.
Oh, well, they're dated a little bit now, but some of it actually, when you see the Mummy and it's half kind of coming together.
But then it was,
Mate, even today, some of those scenes hold up really, really well.
Awesome. And it did well, 155 million.
Deservedly so.
Yeah,
I think deservedly so. It really is a fun action film. I think that did really, really well. I'm a big fan of that film. I don't pretend, like I said, to not even have the existence of that Tom Cruise version.
No.
Because they got the tone right, I reckon, for this one. But I'm going to move on to number 7, Rick.
Yeah, number 7.
And this, again, I think piggybacks off the same argument that I made with Runaway Bride, and that is the time where stars would drive people into the cinema. One of the biggest comedy stars of that decade was Adam Sandler. And this movie's Big Daddy.
Big Daddy. Yeah, Sandler's done some great movies, when he first started, but now it's just getting on and on.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Well, this is a bit of a sweeter movie, I suppose. It's a bit more about family and things like that.
I didn't really enjoy it.
Taking on adopting a kid, basically. It is kind of it's his kid, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's his kid. It's fun. It's got a bit of Adam Sandler isms in there. Not a horrible film, maybe not his best. Certainly not Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison.
Nah, that's what they're coming off on. But
Well, but that's what
and then
success.
his career just went downhill from there. But
so
anyway.
look for a time, it did kind of really, really well.
163 million.
Mate, you can't complain about that.
So
Sony Pictures
they
were
did something
pretty happy
with
with that.
Yeah.
What was number 6, mate?
Number 6 was a Disney movie.
Disney movie.
Tarzan.
Oh, the animated movie Tarzan.
The animated Tarzan.
Wow. See, this isn't the 90s too, when Disney was still really hyper-focused on classic animated movies. I think this was a massive hit, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
What did it make?
Did 171 million.
$171 million was not bad,
Not bad at all. So it's
to me,
good.
it's not a memorable Disney film.
No, it's nothing like The Lion King or anything like that.
No, definitely nothing.
It's not something that you'd remember like, oh, Tarzan, the animated version, but...
For some reason, every time I think of the film, I just think of the soundtrack by Phil Collins. I don't know why, but that's what I think. But no, good Disney film.
If you haven't seen it and you want to see it with the kids, it's definitely worth a watch, definitely.
Absolutely. Well, number 5 is a game changer.
What can you say? Yeah.
It is a game changer.
And it was.
When a science fiction film, which we'll talk about later, that not really science fiction, science fantasy, was coming out. This is the movie that blew me away that year.
I think it blew everyone away.
The Matrix.
Keanu Reeves.
Where this came from, nobody saw this coming.
No.
I'd known of this film that they were filming a movie in Sydney with Keanu Reeves. That's all I knew. But when I went and saw this film, man, how amazing. Influence from anime and some of the great science fiction all time. The Wachowskis did an incredible job with this concept. And Keanu Reeves is probably the best he's ever been playing Neo. You've got Lawrence Fishburne, of course, who's in the role as well. It's just, what can you say about this film? And one of the great villains of all time with Agent Smith. Hugo Weaving, incredible.
And the effects for that were just
bullet time.
Mind-blowing. Yeah, that was the first movie that was doing bullet time.
And I think it did people's heads in when you were seeing that. But absolutely phenomenal, you know.
Great movie.
And we have a bit of a tie for this film because this is one of the first ever films that me and Rick actually watched together.
We did, that's true,
So that's certainly, we've got some ties with it. But as everybody knows, it was a game changer. Films, special effects, never were the same after The Matrix. No. An incredible film. Certainly deserves to be a lot higher on this list.
It did, and I'm very surprised with the amount that it made. It made 171 million. I mean, Tarzan made 171.
Yeah.
But this made 171, 479.
You've got to think about it. That is an incredible result when the marketing was not great for this film.
No.
And everybody was focused on other films coming out that year. No one was expecting this film to come out.
And I dare say the budget would have been pretty high on this movie.
I think it was actually not bad. I think it was around $70-80 million. The budget on the sequels, however, was fairly overbloated.
Yeah.
But this film here was just one of those films that only come around every few years, you know, where you'll get something so much of a game changer. But let's change tack, Rick. Let's move on to number 4. What's number 4?
Number 4, I know it's one of your favourites, Jace. You know, Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. Mate, I love this movie. It's great. I know you're a big fan. I know you're a big fan of this.
Bastard. You know, like some of the characters. This movie is Mike Myers taking those characters and just going for it, mate. Yeah. Just that movie makes me laugh to this day.
Of course.
You know, having that mini characters. Do you want a hot bucket? Do you want an egg? Just that little mini-me is just so fantastic. And then, like, it's just so much fun. Yeah. It's just like a whole series of skits they put together. I love the Seth Green in it as well, playing Dr. Evil's son. It's brilliant. There's so much to love about this film. The plot, it just doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
This film is just a balls-out comedy and just a lot of fun. How did it do?
206 million. That's
there you say. I mean, you know, you got to think about Austin Powers was a failure. It made a little bit of money, but was not considered a success.
No.
Not bad for a sequel.
So the sequel came up.
To get to number 4.
That's pretty good.
Incredible.
You got it like that. That's impressive.
Yeah, probably Mike Myers, that's probably the highest he's ever gotten in the way his box office. And started to go downhill after that for him as well.
Yeah.
But I want to move and talk about number 3, which is in my mind, one of the greatest sequels. And in fact, probably the perfect trilogy of movies of all time. And you're talking to a Star Wars fan. And that is Toy Story 2.
What kid has not seen this
Oh
movie
my God. You know, Toy Story I loved. I really enjoyed. I thought it was a wonderful film. But who knew they were not only maybe make a sequel that didn't repeat on the original, but to take those characters, move it into more direction, and make it such an emotional film. I mean, I still tear up at that scene and song about Jessie, the doll who gets left behind. It's tragic. And then the whole thing when they're going off an adventure into Toy Barn. This film is fantastic.
Got everything in it. Who's your favourite? You got a favourite character in it?
Look, I really think it's got to be Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah. Don Rickles.
Don Rickles, mate. How can you go past that?
The late great Don Rickles.
Great in that. Yeah. I mean, like,
he's
from
awesome.
Tom Hanks to
big names.
Buzz Lightyear to
Tim Allen.
Of course. To everybody that plays a role in that film. It's so perfectly cast.
Yeah, it was.
And so much fun to watch.
Great Pixar movie.
Oh, mate. And like I said, it is one of these perfect sequels. You just can't... I just go watch it.
Every.
How much is this, mate?
245 million. So
it's doing really well.
So,
I mean, you can't complain about that.
Great movie.
Pixar were just unstoppable in that time period. Everything they made turned to gold. Rick, what was number 2?
Ooh, number 2, The Sixth Sense. Wow. Great movie.
M. Night Shyamalan. No, this is his breakout film.
Yeah, definitely.
What a film.
It was.
I mean, talk about one of the biggest twists in a film ever. Now, if you haven't seen The Sixth Sense and you're worried about spoilers, spoiler alert, all right?
Too late.
The whole concept at the end of it to find out that he's been dead the whole time.
Mind blowing.
You know, and absolutely phenomenal performances in that film. And just certainly a film that when you watch it, you go, this is a very slow film. But it doesn't ever feel boring.
No.
And to have such a great payoff at the end of it. Man, I mean, this was a huge film for the year. Rick, what did it make?
293.
Mate, you're getting close to $300 million.
Almost close to 300 million. So you can't...
You cannot complain. For a little film that maybe would have cost him $20 million to make, look at the result of this. And launched M. Night's career.
Yeah.
And certainly M. Night, thankfully now, has got a renaissance. You know, after a series of horrible films.
Oh, he did. Now he's coming back.
Now he's coming back, obviously, with Split and the upcoming Glass. It's really, really great to see M. Night back in the game. But the number one film of 1999, Rick, mate, I'm going to take the lead on this one.
You're going to take the lead because...
I have to take the lead on this one. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Rick, all I can say to you at this time is the lead up to this film. We talked about Batman in the 1989.
Yep.
Well, there's something else that tops Batman for the hype, for the build-up, for the anticipation. And that was Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, Rick. This film was so... I mean, every person my age who grew up with the figures and loved the original trilogy, we were so excited about seeing this film.
Another Star Wars
We didn't know what they were going to do. I know my initial reaction is, they're making a film about Darth Vader. Oh, okay, I would have liked to have seen a sequel afterwards, but that wasn't to be at that time. That wasn't the story George Lucas wanted to tell. So as an excited fan, I was like with everybody, so eagerly waiting to see this. And just like most fans, I walked out and went, holy shit, what did they do? This film, one of the biggest film of the year, is one of those films, and we'll talk about how much money it made in the year, but it was a letdown for a lot of people. It wasn't the films us Star Wars fans wanted.
Yeah.
It was the film that George Lucas wanted to make. Now, you know, we're talking about Jar Jar Binks. It did not gel with the audience at all. You know, the fact that you really didn't have well-formed characters. You didn't have a plot that was interesting, really. But you had some amazing stuff. Darth Maul, that lightsaber battle at the end. Just the special effects alone was so groundbreaking for its time. I mean, nobody had seen that type of detail in there. Even the pod race was a lot of fun on its own.
Yeah.
But the film, I mean, let's be honest, guys, it is the worst Star Wars film out of all of them.
And you guys got to understand, Jace, anyone I know, Jace is the most passionate about Star Wars. Like, he's the biggest Star Wars fan I know.
I will say, though, but I am realistic.
He is. Yeah.
But I mean, like, I can't turn around and say this is a great film.
No.
It isn't a great film. It does have some great elements.
Definitely.
And certainly, but to me, this was my change. And you know, the first film I saw when I was a little boy, Rick, was Star Wars. Yeah. And I was 4 years old. Now, fast forward to 1999, my son, 4 years old, I get to take him to go see that Star Wars. Such a generational thing. And it turned my son into a lifelong Star Wars fan now. And certainly, so that film does hold a special place in my heart. It's a much maligned film, I think, sometimes fairly, but mostly unfairly. But Rick, how much does this money make?
Mate,
how much does this money make?
How much does this movie make? $431 million.
Look at that gap. So number 2 was The Sixth Sense, was $293.
Bang.
Star Wars makes another $140 million on top of that.
Because it's got Star Wars.
It's because it's got Star Wars, and it was
Star Wars in the title.
But well, yes and no. I mean, like, because they had Star Wars in the title, of course, every Star Wars
everyone's going to go back.
They were going to go and see it. And, you know, at that time, too, you've got to remember, everybody's memories of the Star Wars films they were phenomenal. Yeah. They were great. So the expectation is this would be phenomenal. This would be great. Look, I could talk for 75 hours non-stop about episode 1 alone. We're not going to. That was the number 1 film of the year. I'm surprised at that top 10, Rick. Are you surprised at that top 10?
There's a few there that I was like, it could be, but very surprising. Definitely. Yeah,
absolutely. But of course, that ends the top 10, but we're going to move into our honourable mentions now about films throughout that were in the top 54 on this occasion, coming to that. But certainly we've got 3 films each that we want to talk about. Yeah. Rick, you start off. What's your first film you think is worth honourable mention?
I'm going to start off with number 20.
Number 20.
Who doesn't love this movie? Everyone loves this movie. I think this is one of those movies that started it off, that type of, what are they?
Well, no, I think it actually reinvigorated the teen sex comedy genre.
Comedy movies, I guess. Yeah, it did. Yeah. And I'm talking about American Pie. You know, it was great. This movie did really, really well for what it was. It made $102 million. So, I mean, it would have had a small budget, but it was the casting and writing. It launched
careers.
And it did, it did.
Yeah, absolutely. Sean William Scott, Stifler.
His character's fantastic.
You know?
And then there was Biggs.
Yeah, Jason
Biggs.
He went on to
the pie, you know, and everyone remembers Jason Biggs.
Tara Reid.
Now she's doing really well with the Sharknadoes.
Well, yeah.
Probably not the greatest thing.
Yeah. I don't think personally she's doing quite well, but
Mina Suvari was in it as well.
Yeah, she went on to do American Beauty that same year.
Which is another one that we'll be talking about as well. So, definitely, it's a great movie. I love this movie.
It certainly did reinvigorate the series. I mean, the 80s were very much that period of teen sex comedy. Yeah. You know, kids trying to get laid, basically. Yeah. Is the plot, and this is the plot of this film as well. But they do it well. They do it with a lot of fun. Yeah. And they do it with not taking itself too seriously. And it's fantastic.
It's got some great scenes in it.
Big shout out to Eugene Level playing that.
His father.
Just brilliant. Just fantastic. Absolutely.
So definitely worth watching. I like that. And $102 million. So definitely on that, guys.
Well, I'm moving to my first one, which is actually number 30 on the list. And that is a surprise comedy that I would have thought, I'll have a look at, but goddamn, it's great. And that is Galaxy Quest.
Tim Allen. Sigourney Weaver.
Who else?
What's his name?
Ray Wilson's in it as well.
Monk. What's his name?
Tony Shalhoub. But of course, you can't miss out.
No.
Of course, Hans Gruber, baby.
That's right.
Is in the film playing. I can't even remember his character's name. Look, either way, this is a funny movie. It's a parody on Star Trek.
It is, yeah.
It really is. That's what it is. And it's about a group of TV actors who, are playing in a show called Galaxy Quest. But real aliens see it and think that they need Galaxy Quest to come and save them. Great little high concept comedy. Just so much fun. Certainly, me, in my personal opinion, deserves a high spot, number 30. But nevertheless, it's a film I've watched multiple times, and will continue to. Absolutely.
71 million, not bad.
It did pretty good, mate. What's your number 2?
My number 2, we're going to go down to a number. Actually, no, number 13. We just spoke about this.
Yes.
American Beauty.
Oh,
Kevin Spacey. Yep. Marina Serrari, which we just spoke about in...
Annette Bening, of course. Just a really important film,
I guess a romantic drama, you would call this movie?
Oh, I wouldn't even call it a romantic drama. I think I would just call it straight-out drama. Because it really is about a man who is lost in his life.
Yeah, Kevin Spacey.
Who has lost his place. Everything everything that he's told that was going to happen for him hasn't. He's extremely miserable, depressed, and unhappy.
Yeah.
Starts to fantasize about a young 16-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Gets caught up. Starts
some
to
weird moments
recapture
in it, but
his youth. Certainly, just a very confronting film on many levels, and a beautiful film as well.
It is a good movie.
Oh yeah,
and
it
it
certainly
did well.
deserves the Academy Awards that it did win. So.
130 million.
Oh yeah, I mean it is one of those films that if you're talking 1999, you have to talk about this film for sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to move on to mine now, mate, which is number 47 on the list, which is South Park.
Yeah.
Bigger, longer, and cut. Now, normally I wouldn't probably mention a film because really this is a film piggybacking off a TV show. But South Park was a global phenomenon in the 90s.
Yeah, it was.
When it came out. It was absolutely huge. So when they announced they were going to make a movie, I thought, well, do we really need to? But, mate, you need to see this film.
You do.
It's absolutely phenomenal. I know the characters swear a lot in the show these days, but back then we hadn't ever heard the characters swear. And, you know, it won an Academy Award for Best Song. Blame Canada.
Wow, okay.
So it's an Academy Award-winning film. It's extremely funny. You know, Trey Parker and Matt Stone are just geniuses, and certainly it was on display with this film.
Cartman.
Oh, mate, it was fantastic. It was a huge film.
Great.
I'm amazed it only made $52 million because I thought it would have made more than that. But holy shit, this film now lives and breathes, and certainly I know a lot of people who watch this occasionally because it's just so much fun. Just so much fun. So that's my number 2 on the list. What's your third film?
Got a number 28, Any Given Sunday.
Great choice, dude. You got a couple of really good choices.
Huge cast in this. Al Pacino, Cameron Diaz, James Woods. I'm not a James Wood fan, but he was really good in this. And Jamie Foxx. Phenomenal. Yeah, Billy Steeman. Yeah. It's a great movie.
Really great kind of expose on the NFL.
On the NFL,
Obviously, they couldn't use the licenses and that.
No, that's right.
But, mate, you talk about expert direction. Oliver Stone, mate.
Wow. And
what a film.
And Al Pacino does this phenomenal speech in it, which everyone knows about it. And it's just great. It is just, it's a very, very good movie.
Yeah, certainly if you haven't seen Any Given Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not someone who gives a rat's ass about the NFL at all. But this film is really a watchable movie. Absolutely brilliant.
So, and it made $75 million. So, for what else, that's pretty good. So,
wow, there you go. Yeah. Well, Rick, I'm going to move on to the last film, to me, which was the best film of the year, and in fact, probably one of the best films of the decade in total. And it didn't even crack the top 50.
Didn't even crack the 50.
It hit it at number 54.
That's why we got 54.
And we're talking Fight Club.
Oh.
Now, Fight Club has now obviously gone on to be one of the most well-respected, most important films of the 1990s, starring Brad Pitt, Edward Norton, directed by the incredible David Fincher. This film is about talking about masculinity and what it meant to be a man and how we felt, the fact that we were losing that and how many men were lost in that time and place and didn't have any real purpose. Fight Club addresses that head on. It talks about mental health as well.
Yes.
It talks about complex relationships, support system, materialism. This movie covers so many important questions that we need to be asking ourselves. And a film, Rick, that I'll be honest with, first time I saw it, I turned it off halfway through.
Okay.
I was just not in the right frame of mind. The next morning I watched the whole thing, and I realised that was one of the best films I'd ever seen. Fight Club is a film that I think has earned the respect it deserves, but certainly at the time, it just didn't make the money.
37 million.
Well, actually, it was a loss for the studio.
It would have been,
the film cost $70 million to make. So that was a big hit for the studio, but thank God they made that film.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know any guy
who hasn't seen it.
That hasn't seen it and doesn't love this film.
I think it did well better after,
it built up its reputation after the fact.
And Meatloaf, how good was Meatloaf in that movie?
Yeah, bitch tits. Yeah.
Bitch tits. So,
yeah. But you know, I mean, like, to be 54 on the list, is so disrespectful in some ways. But people go to the movies to see what they want to see. You know. If you think about Fight Club versus Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, and you've got Fight Club that makes $37 million, and you got Star Wars makes 450. It doesn't seem right, does it?
It should be up there, but
people go and see what they want to go and see. Thankfully, Fight Club now lives on as a classic. So, Rick, look, I think we've just touched on what we wanted to touch on. There's so many more movies we could talk about.
So many more.
I mean, like End of Days, you've got Bowfinger, you've got Thomas Crown Affair, all the way up to Sleepy Hollow, I mean, Entrapment, Payback. There's so much more we could talk about, but we can't. We'd be here for 15 hours. So, but that's what we want to talk about. We really encourage you to get on to Box Office Mojo and get a hold of the list. But Rick, how are they going to talk to us about some of the movies that we've spoken about today?
Definitely, all you guys need to do is just give us a comment down below. Give us what feedback. Let us know what year you want us to talk about or movies, anything. Send that comment down below. Give us a like for this video. Also, give us a subscribe for the channel, and just follow us all on our social media sites as well.
I think it's really important too that you share. Talk about if you like what you're seeing. Share it with your friends, please, your family. Let them know that you're watching a couple of train wrecks and you're enjoying what they're doing, all right?
That's it. Share it. Share the love.
Absolutely. And we want to hear about what year of movies you want us to talk about next, all right? So thank you for that, guys. We'll see you next time at the year that was in movies.
See ya.